On security, in a deft move to tackle upsurge in crime and criminalities in major towns in Kogi State, north-central Nigeria, the state governor, Ahmed Usman Ododo, has launched a security outfit codenamed Metropolitan Quick Response Squad. At the launch of the initiative in Lokoja, the Kogi helmsman revealed that this initiative is in partnership with the Nigerian Police and other security agencies in the state. Governor Ododo pledged to deal decisively with criminal elements in the state. Meanwhile, some gunmen invaded Agojeju-Odo community in Omala Local Government Area of the state, leaving 19 people dead and several houses burned. Mikhail, this is close to you.
Yeah, this is, let's start from the attack on communities in Omala community, Omala Local Government. It's a spillover from the conflict between criminal headsmen and some residents of Benue State. You know, what Kogi needs to do now, and I'm happy that the governor has realized that, is the need to police the border towns. Border towns with Nasarawa. For example, Abaji. Abaji is a very dangerous area. It's in the Federal Capital Territory, but close to Kogi Local Government in Kogi State. No, that's Kogi Local Government. Close to Toto Local Government in Nasarawa. Terrorists and bandits have made Abaji their home. They come from Niger, they come from different areas, from Nasarawa, and from time to time they attack communities in Kogi State. The last governor tried his best to protect the people of Kogi State against attacks from criminals operating in Abaji and Toto Local Government of Nasarawa State, because they will find a way to come into Kogi. Now, what the governor has done by introducing Metropolitan Quick Response Squad is to see how he can use that squad made up of hunters, vigilantes, conventional security operatives, police, and the rest of them to man those flashpoints. The flashpoints are the border towns. For example, the border town with Enugu State, as in Olamaboro local government, was where an entire bus loaded with passengers was hijacked some weeks back. They actually left Lagos, and then they hijacked them. They took away the passengers. That's a border community with Enugu State, Olamaboro local government. Then the border towns with Benue, because these criminal headsmen come into Benue, kill people. We are now seeing a spillover into Kogi State. So the Metropolitan Quick Response Squad would be stationed in Lokoja or Ganemegu in the Kina local government, the flashpoint border areas of Benue, of Nasarawa, then the Felele area in Lokoja town. Felele area, that is where you have the university, the Federal University of Lokoja, is a potentially dangerous place because of the thick forest and the fact that the place is usually quiet. So they are going to deploy them to that area and some parts of Olamaboro where as I said earlier, that attack on the luxury bus happened. So he's trying to do what we call attack as a form of defense. You know where the threats come from. He's deploying resources to deal with the threats at those border communities with Kogi State. Kogi State shares boundary with no less than 10 states and FCT. And that in itself is a challenge. It's a challenge because when troubles happen in some of those places, the potential of spillover into Kogi is huge. We've seen that happen a number of times. We don't want to see the kind of killings by criminal headsmen in Benue State that has led to no less than 8 IDP camps in Benue State alone. We have multiplicity of IDP camps. Some of them set up by government, some by individuals. Almost more than a quarter of the population of Benue State are in IDP camps as we speak. More than a quarter. It's a big problem. But the moment these people come to Kogi and they start killing people, they will not stop. Except if you stop them decisively from the get-go. If you allow this kind of crisis to continue, then they will turn Kogi to a killing field. So Governor Ododo needs to work very hard to ensure that what happened in this Omala Local Government, where 19 persons were killed, is not allowed to happen again. It usually starts with, oh, you killed me, let me avenge the killing of my people. And from then, they will not forgive one another. The killings will continue. That's what we have in Kaduna. That's what we have in Plateau. There's a long history of clashes between pastoral farmers and the natives. Even in Zamfara and some of these states, the conflict began between herdsmen rolling out their cattle, allowing their cattle to destroy people's crops. The victims fight back, kill cattle and some Fulanis, and then the Fulanis fight back. The victims set up their vigilante groups. That's why some governors even banned vigilante groups in the Northwest, because vigilante groups are now seen as people out on a mission to kill Fulani. So conflict between Hausa farmers and Fulani cattle rearers is what degenerated to what we now have in the Northwest. Many people don't know that this thing began like what we call inter-ethnic conflict. They think it's just criminality. No, that's not how it started. It's a case of, oh, I am an Hausa, I farm extensively. The other people are Fulanis. They do cattle business. Cattle eats my crop. I fight back. There are various sorts of fighting back. I either kill the cattle by poisoning it, and then the herdsman sees that he has lost so much, and then he fights back. He attacks the community, kills them. They find it difficult to forgive one another. There are communities where the Fulani attacked, and they didn't even allow the people to bury their dead. This is the truth, yes. After killing them, they stopped them from getting into the community to bury their dead. So these are things people have not forgiven themselves. We don't want that to happen in Kogi. So this matter has to be quickly addressed, nipped in the bud, and then let's have this squad represented in those urban communities to protect our people a lot more.
All right, Adoye, how do you react to this emerging security threats?
I think, first of all, I appreciate the efforts of the state government, because in a country where security is centralized, you need to go extra mile to be able to make impact as a state. I think one thing we should not forget is that, you see, these terrorists, they are also, don't undermine their intelligence. They think, they have to, people think for them. Kogi State, I think most of the things that are happening, they are not homegrown crises. There are people that are trying to use Kogi as a feed for operation. One thing we must not forget is that Kogi is one of the largest states in Nigeria in terms of land mass. It's about 13th, with 29,425 kilometers, which is bigger than the entire five states in the southeast. So they have a lot of forest. And the terrorists are targeting, and particularly aware that they have been using Kogi to build cells over time. Because we have been having attacks on small communities, and now people who live in those areas that have been talking about this thing for the past 15 years. Coming to their villages, they just occupy the forest and nothing happens. Especially in the past 8 years under the former government. It happened. Then we should, apart from the forest, so they see Kogi as a place that they need to build cells and train themselves. Then there's also the River Niger and Benue. River Niger takes its source from the Guinea Islands, and it is third longest river in Africa, apart from Nile and Congo. In Guinea, where the river starts and coming to Nigeria, I've had access to confidential reports that the small vessels, they can use it to transport arms all the way from Guinea via Sierra Leone on that River Niger to Kogi State. Then the other river, the River Benue, that takes its source from Adamawa in northern Cameroon. There is also major crisis going on in northern Cameroon. So the two rivers that converge in Kogi State is a big asset for these criminal elements to moving small weapons through the river. So then there's also the fact that in terms of people traveling from the south to the north, the highway, Kogi is like the hub. You must pass through Kogi. People don't pass through Jeba Mokwa any longer. So the criminals, they know that that place is lucrative. They stay there to rob people. So it's a target for them. So it means that we need to encourage what the government is doing. Okay. There must be regional cooperation between the states of Kaduna, Ekiti, Kwara, Kogi. The federal government should also come to the aid of Kogi State. Kogi is the target. And that's why you see sometimes when the government does a lot, you hardly feel the impact, because the terrorists are focusing on that state as a place that they really want to have a stronghold so that they can spread their tentacles to other frontier states. So, in all, I think there is a need for the standardization of the security architecture so that the Kogi State government can be able to procure drones without bureaucracy, so that they can, what they are doing, we can feel the impact. It's one thing for you to have very good policy, but if there are bureaucratic bottlenecks because of the sign of security in Nigeria, that everything is over-centralized, your effort may not be fed. The former governor in Kogi State did a lot, and I think this governor has started well, but they need our encouragement, first from the federal government, and also regional cooperation with the other surrounding states. All
right, thank you, gentlemen. BK, any final word on this before we
move? I'm happy that the governor has reached out to the army so that they can deploy their men to the place where these killings happened. Sometimes it makes sense to not announce your plan and just get down to work, do what you have to do. So kudos to Governor Ododo for reaching out to the army and getting the army to send troops to the area.
All right.
Hopefully that will help us keep the crisis in check.